Grace, where are you? Hello. It's a Q&A episode today. Sorry for the different background. My room's a little crazy. Can y'all hear me better with the microphone? Like, is that sound quality actually better? Be honest. We need to know.
It's been a month since we recorded an
Yeah,
episode.
it might be a little rocky.
I don't know. Stay tuned. You got it.
What if the biggest part of Paralympic sport is the part you never see?
Hi, I'm Grace Nooper.
And I'm Olivia Chambers.
We're Paralympic swimmers, but this isn't a podcast about the medals.
It's about the stories people don't expect, the ones that don't make the highlight reel.
This is Optical Delusion, telling the stories that we didn't see coming, but honestly, you probably didn't either.
Each episode, we're sitting down with Paralympic athletes and people with disabilities to talk honestly about identity, sport, failure, success, and everything in between.
No inspirational cliches and no watered down narratives.
Just real stories, told by the people who live them. Whew. Perfect. That was smooth.
Guys, this is a fun episode because we are the guest. This is
Yes.
us interviewing each other with Q&A questions that
Well,
you guys have
honestly,
submitted.
yeah, it's y'all interviewing us.
True, it is y'all
We
interviewing
don't have a
us.
table.
Y'all, I'm from the South, y'all.
How did you realize?
I don't know why the other day I was kind of looking back at one of our old podcast episodes, and we have gotten so much better about taking turns speaking, and like the flow has just felt so much more cohesive.
Yeah, we definitely had that problem of talking over
It's
each other.
it's the learning curve. It's not our fault. We can't
No,
see our mouths
no.
moving.
And we're both chatters, so
Listen, if there's gonna be yapping going on, like I'm there. Okay, let's just start off with the question that I feel like you already know what I'm gonna ask. Do you dream in 2020 or your vision now?
okay. So for me, obviously, y'all know by now, I didn't become visually impaired until I was 16. So obviously I dreamed in 2020 up until then. And then even beyond then, I remember dreaming like clearly until I like went to college and like the people I met in college and the places I had been after I become visually impaired started being in my dreams. And then like I stopped dreaming in 2020 and started dreaming in my vision, if that makes sense, because I had no idea of like what those places and faces and things looked like with regular vision. But like if my dream is like at home in Little Rock where I grew up, I'd say it's still like pretty clear in how I remember it as a child
Uh-huh.
instead of like what I see now, if that makes sense.
That's so interesting. I mean, this question has been posed to us for this was one of the first questions we were asked, so we've talked about this a little bit before recording, but like for me, I don't really have necessarily a perception of what 2020 is. So I
Yeah.
don't think I dream in 2020 because again, in my brain, I just can't even right now imagine what that is. But also, like, I have a perception of what I see on the phone screen. Or, like, if you show me a photography picture, or just like a video someone posts on TikTok, like, I can see that normally, even if I'm close up. So I can't tell if I dream as if I'm looking at my phone and I'm watching a video, or I dream in what I see now. Like, I genuinely
Yeah.
can't tell you. Like, I can
That
tell you
makes
the
sense.
stories. Like, last night in my dream, I was kidnapped, and then I flew off a tower, and I had to ice skate for food, and then I
Oh,
was punched in the face. Like, that was my dream last night. I don't know.
well, that's interesting.
Right, but I cannot tell you,
Can't tell you
what
if it was
perception.
blurry or clear.
Nope, no
Yeah.
idea.
I mean, honestly, y'all just think about our viewers. Just think about like what you dream in. Like, are your dreams blurry or clear? And I feel like when you picture it, you can't like really
Picture your
know.
dream. I know, I don't really
Yeah.
know.
Like, I just know that it changed because it was such like an interesting like shift for me from like
And
knowing exactly what something looked like to not knowing what something looked like. Like,
yeah.
I knew exactly what my parents' faces looked like, my siblings, my cousins, my friends from Little Rock. And then they were still around me when I was starting to go blind, but I still remembered what they looked like. Whereas when I went to college and met new people that I had never seen, I was like, whoa, this is different. Like, I actually don't know what y'all really look like or what y'all would look like in my past vision. So it's
Like,
like, it was an interesting shift.
But when you see photographs of people on your phone, are you able to be like, "Oh, that's what you look like"?
Yeah, like, if I zoom in, I could be like, "Oh, there
Yeah.
you are," but, like, I'm not able to really, like, picture what you look like far away,
Mhm.
you know what I mean?
Like, yeah,
Like,
yes.
what you look like far away to me, like,
Mhm.
honestly, when we're, like, having a normal conversation face to face, like, I can't see eyeballs, they're just like black holes. I don't know if, like, you
Same.
feel like, it's
Yeah.
just super blurry and, like, I can't really see your features, you're just kind of like a head.
Mhm. Yeah.
But, like, I when I look up close on, like, Instagram or something, when I'm zooming in on y'all, like, I see your faces, obviously, but I'm
Uh-huh.
unable to, like, picture that face on your head when I'm talking to you.
No,
I
okay.
feel like yeah.
I feel the same way because sometimes I'll, like, meet someone and it's not like I'm close to them yet, so I can't, like, get an eyeball and be like,
Like,
"What do
"Let
you
me
look
look at
like?" Yeah,
you."
let me look at you, and then I'll see a picture of them later and I'll be like, "Who's that?" And my friends
Yeah.
will be like, "You literally just met them." And I'm like, "I'm sorry, I know, like, the Northwestern swim team, if any of you guys are listening, my bad. I could I don't think I could pick you guys out of a lineup because I
And
genuinely,
that's
like,
fair.
am yet to really know what most of your faces look like."
Yeah, and a lot of times people will say, like, "Hey," or they'll say something,
No
and
idea who it is.
yeah, unless you give me more words
Mhm.
or some people have a very distinct walk,
Or
and
voice.
I'm not just yeah, or voice, and then we're able to know
Mhm.
that like that, but and I feel like a lot more people look a lot alike than you think, at least to me.
Yeah.
'Cause,
Yeah,
like, all we really base it off of is hair color, height,
mhm, it,
like,
like,
sound.
simplifies everyone's features, so it's like, if you're tall and have brown hair, but there's 3 other people who are tall and have brown hair, I'm sorry, it's gonna take me so long to actually figure out in my head who's who.
Yeah, it's like Patrick, one of our para coaches, he wears bright red shoes.
Mhm.
So we always know that's Patrick coming up.
Literally, it's so helpful. So, if you approach us and we're not tight like that, please give us more context clues or else we're just gonna pretend like we know who we're talking to, but we really don't.
Yep, just the way it is.
Oh my
And
gosh.
it's not out of, like, rudeness, it's just like
We just don't know.
we haven't taken the time to learn. We haven't gotten to know each other. Rapid fire. My why'd I start swimming?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like my parents just put me in swim lessons when I was little, and
Mhm.
I just kind of fell in love with the water. I love to race, and then just yeah, ever since then, just
That's
started
fair.
swimming.
I started swimming because it was the only sport I was really allowed to do that, then it hurt me.
Yeah, that's a simple enough answer.
I feel like it is. Oh, are you guys both swimming pan packs?
You could go first.
Yes, I'm swimming pan packs.
As of right now, that's my plan, but should I get into my new health stuff now?
Oh, see, what new diagnosis have you recently
Well,
faced?
okay, so I've recently been diagnosed with thyroid cancer, which is not as scary as it sounds.
See, you say that every time you tell someone, and I'm like, "Oh, see."
I know. Well, I don't want to diminish it because it is like a scary diagnosis. It is real and it is something I'm dealing with, but it also I am fortunate enough that there is a cure out for there for thyroid cancer. So I am currently 2 weeks post-op from my left thyroidectomy, the left side of it. Originally, we thought that it was just affecting the left side, but once my surgeon got in there, it kind of spread to more lymph nodes. So I'm going in to have the right side removed just to eliminate any chance of recurrence or further spread throughout the body. And so, depending on when that surgery is, and depending on when I can get back in the water and get like, since I won't have a thyroid at all, I'll have to start like new medications. And just depending on that kind of timeline, I'm gonna, you know, will depend on whether or not I swim pan packs. So the plan for right now is I'd like to. It might not be like my end of season taper meet like I had originally planned earlier this year. But it might just be more of a get up and race, see what like beginning of the season, coming back from all my health stuff kind of thing, and just to see people because it really does help you heal and train better going into something hard by seeing your friends and just kind of, getting out there and racing and doing what you love. So as of right now, it's up in the air for me. I would love to go. And honestly, I think if I'm unable to swim, I would really still like to go and cheer on my teammates and hopefully maybe do a little optical delusion work. But we'll just see kind of obviously right now my health is put first above swimming, which it's not my first choice, but it has to be done. I have to get it removed and a few months from now, hopefully we'll be cancer free and just back to normal life.
I okay, first of all, you're definitely coming to Fan Pack whether you're swimming or not. Like, you're gonna be there, okay? We're gonna hang out, and
Yes. Yes.
I would just like to give a little bit of background context for the viewers. Number 1, I'm away for the weekend, and you're like, "Call me. Hey, call me when you get a chance," and I was like, "Oh, what's wrong?" "Nothing's wrong.
Well,
It's" you're like, "Everything's fine. I just wanted to tell you something." I call you, "So I have cancer."
well, I it wasn't a message I could text, you know what I mean?
No,
Like, I felt like that was a
no.
little, like, I don't know. And
Yeah.
so but I didn't want you to, like, worry because you hear cancer and you immediately think the worst. Everyone does
Mhm.
'cause, um, there are a lot of cancers out there and a lot of people who deal with it, but I was fortunate enough to, yeah, obviously have a cure, and,
Yeah.
um, after I get it removed, it's a very slow growing, not very aggressive type of cancer, so once the thyroid's removed and the lymph nodes around are removed, it should be, I should be good to go and shouldn't have to worry too much about recurrence, because the
Mhm.
thyroid's gone. It is thyroid cancer, but I will be monitored for quite some time, so that should bring me some, like, peace of mind, but I know
Yeah.
it's like telling my friends and family and things like that, it was like, "Okay, don't freak out."
Yeah.
But I have this kind of thing.
Well, I mean, how have you like, have you freaked out? Like, did that diagnosis is it scaring you? Did it scare you? Like
I mean, yeah, it did
yeah.
scare me at first. I mean, I've had luckily my, like, degrees in biology and psychology, and while I'm not, like, a doctor, I have
Mhm.
had classes that have gone through, I mean, I had one specifically called Cancer and Infectious Diseases, so I have learned about thyroid cancers in my class. I've
Oh,
learned
wait, that's
about
kinda cool.
it was kinda cool. I've learned about, like, the different genetic mutations that can lead to cancer, like, uh, in different types of the body, and so I kinda have feel like I had a better understanding going into it, and I knew that, um, thyroid cancer had a high, like, success rate of, uh, going into, like, remission, I guess, or getting rid of all the cancer, and so I knew that, and I also just kind of the way things were so the whole story is, like, I went in for something completely different. We found just a thyroid nodule. They were like, "You can get it checked out if you want. It's not necessarily the most urgent." A lot of people have nodules, and usually they're just there. They're fine. But
Mhm.
my parents and I, we decided, you know what? It doesn't hurt to get it checked out and have a great medical team down in Florida. Thanks to Team USA helping me out there. Um, and so we decided to get it checked out, got like an ultrasound, and they were like, okay, they're kind of suspicious. You can either wait to see if they grow in 6 months or you can get a biopsy. And I was like, well, why not just get the biopsy?
Yeah.
And so just kind of leading up, there have been just some like hints that, okay, this might not just be a nodule. And I think with my background knowledge and just kind of knowing the way things are progressing, I was able to kind of just mentally prepare myself and know that this was a possibility. And I would also like my parents have been there every step of the way, supporting me and giving me like the space to, think about it on my own, but also being there to support me in any decision I make, but also making sure that I have all the information available to me. And I would say
Mhm.
my doctors down at Florida have done an amazing job with like laying it out all out on the table. Like
Yeah.
explaining it to me in a way that didn't make me feel like I was dumb or stupid or just like I didn't know anything.
Mhm.
Because sometimes you can get into doctors and they can use really big words and not
Yeah.
explain those, and then you feel dumb. Or sometimes they dumb it down so much that you're like, okay, I'm not a 5-year-old. Like,
Right,
you
right.
can talk to me like an adult. And he just gave me like every option possible, like what treatments I was a candidate for, what possibly could happen. And he was 100% honest with me on what his opinion was. And I just felt very like seen and heard. And I had
Mhm.
been dealing with like some symptoms, and so just, like, the hope of solving those and then getting back to, like, what I used to be able to do in training and things like that also gave me hope and just, like,
Yeah.
there is a relief in getting answers sometimes, and so I felt like there were a lot of feelings going on, but most of the like, while I was very scared, I feel like there were a lot
Mhm.
of people around me who, like, made me feel much more, like, comfortable and confident in my decisions and moving forward and how we were gonna, like, take care of this. Because my family has had, like, a long history with cancers, and so
Mhm.
just knowing, like, all the information available and,
Yeah.
what I'm dealing with was just kind of, like, more reassuring than
Mhm.
anything, and knowing that I had a couple different options, and so I was able to, um, make my own decisions. It felt really nice.
Yeah, I feel like autonomy in that situation where you can probably be made to feel so helpless is so empowering, and I know, like,
Yeah.
obviously different experiences, but even just going to the doctor for whatever I have going on, like, having a doctor who, like, treats you as an equal, it's, like,
Yeah.
really nice just to have that, like, connection of, "Okay, like, we're solving this together, and it's not just, like, my life is at the hands of someone else."
Yeah. Because it's like I'm sure we have both I mean, both of us being rare genetic disorders, like,
Mhm.
sometimes you can feel just like a lab rat almost, where,
Yeah.
like, they have all the interns lining up to come
Oh my
see
god.
you and,
Yeah.
like, looking at you, and it's just comforting when people realize, like, I am your patient. You see me
Mhm.
for, this amount of time, and that's all you have to live with it as the doctor, but, like, this is my life. Like,
Right.
it's my everyday. Like, me being visually impaired is something I have to deal with every second of every day,
Mhm.
not just the hour I'm in the appointment with you. And so he really took the time to, like, explain, and also being an elite athlete, like, I feel like most doctors don't fully grasp the idea of and how important swimming is to me.
Yeah.
And so being down there, University of Florida, like, their medical center is part of, like, the Team USA medical team, kind of, I guess.
Mhm.
And so they have, like, a really nice understanding of what it means to be an elite athlete. So that's really cool to see because he didn't just break it down in what it would mean for my, like, daily life. He, like, broke it down in what it would mean for my swimming career and potential things and concerns to look out for there and, like, how we
Yeah.
would um, go about those, where I feel like in most cases it's just kind of like here's what your daily life will look like. I'm not sure the swimming side. We'll figure that out as we go. But it was
Yeah.
nice to, like, uh have a doctor who was, like, ahead of that. And so
Mhm.
that was really nice. And I'm feeling really confident and coming back after this, which is good.
Yeah, I'm glad you're feeling confident, and also another bit of context is how which I'm gonna sit here and be like, "You're crazy for doing this," but also I think it was in your best interest of doing this, but we just competed in Berlin, and you flew from Germany straight to Florida for your thyroidectomy.
Yep, it was a little crazy. So I wouldn't have necessarily a little backstory. So all paraswimmers, we go through a thing called, like, classification.
Mhm.
Everyone does it. It's where you see the world paraswimming doctors. That's where you're given, like, S13 or S10, whatever class you're in. And most people have to get reclassed every few years just to make sure, like, you're in the correct class. A lot of people have, like, progressing diseases, whatever. And so my year to get reclassed was 2026, and especially for VI classifications, there aren't very many opportunities and you have to get a slot. And so
Mhm.
when I found out at the end of, I think it was the end of March, that I had thyroid cancer and would need it removed, I was like, oh
Yeah.
no, like, I have to get reclassed. Like, I have to go to Berlin, or because there's only two other options this year and they aren't necessarily places I would like to travel to right now, if
Yeah.
we're being honest. But so I had a conversation with my doctor and he was like, um, since it is a slow growing type of cancer, it's not an emergency, but it is, like, urgent. Like, I would like
Mhm.
it to get this done. So we just kind of looked at it. He was like, pushing it back a month is not going to do anything.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, perfect. I'm going to go to Berlin and at least get classed. I didn't have many expectations for the meet. I mean,
Mhm.
it might have seemed, I mean, while I was there, I tried not to put expectations on myself. I should say.
Yeah,
I should
well,
say. You know what I mean? It's hard not to do that as an
it
athlete.
is.
Like,
No, it is.
you have
That's
goals,
fair.
you wanna reach them. I looking back now, I am glad I went to Germany. I think it went really well. There were a couple times where I was like, slightly disappointed, but I needed to take a step back and be like, Olivia, calm down. Like, you're fine. But I'm sure
Yeah.
we've all been there as athletes.
Mhm.
And yeah, so I went to Germany to get reclass. That was the main goal. Got that done, and then yeah, flew back from Germany to Florida, get the surgery done, and
Crazy.
yeah,
We did have a
yeah,
lot of fun in Germany, and I'm
it was a lot of
really
fun.
glad you went, and I think even,
Me
like,
too.
emotionally, that probably, like, filled your cup a little bit. Like
Yeah, I feel like going into surgery, like knowing, like swimming the weekend before and knowing that I haven't really lost as much as I thought I had is
Mhm.
like good, and it was, like, mentally needed, I think, going into something because I knew um, this was gonna be, like, a hard challenge to face,
Yeah.
and just doing it, like, seeing my friends and knowing that they have faced similar, like, things medically and just, like, being with them and racing them and going to a foreign country and exploring and just having fun, I think it was definitely, like, an important piece of the puzzle for me to get that done and to continue to have, like, a good mindset going forward.
No, it was, and you're strong, and I admire you, and I think one of these questions
Thank
are,
you.
"What is your favorite part about the other person?" And I just, like
Yes.
I just don't even know where to start.
I
No, I'm just kidding, I'm
don't
not
even
crying.
like
'Cause you're just, like, so strong, and I know you don't
Oh,
really,
thank
like,
you.
get super emotional often, and it's actually not this isn't funny, but I've had a few people tell me, like, when they've been around Paralympic athletes, they've noticed that they just move throughout the world at such, like with such a stronger front and, like, a
Yeah,
better ability to handle adversity because that's all they've ever known. So, like, you hang
yeah.
out and, like, we're goofy, we're cracking jokes, whatever, but, like, if there's, like, an issue, like, we, in a way, are more equipped to handle it
Mhm.
because that's what we've been doing our whole lives, and so I think that I mean, I obviously I see that in you, even with the story of you being like, "Yeah, I have cancer, but it's not that big of a deal, and I'm gonna swim the week before, and then I'm gonna get back into the pool as soon as I can because that's what I love and that's what I'm passionate
Yeah.
about," and I just admire how, like, you know what makes you happy, and you will not let anything get into your way. And I know
Oh,
it's probably,
thanks.
like, not a 100% reflection of what goes on behind the scenes or in your own head, but that is what I admire about you is your strength.
Oh, honestly, we could probably sit here and talk about what we admire about each other for
Probably.
a long time. But I would say, like, one of my favorite things about Grace is that you just, like whenever you wanna do something, you just do it. Like, I feel like you don't really, like I like that you don't take the time to question yourself or, like, wonder, like, "Why would I do that?" You know what I mean? You're like, "I
Uh-huh.
wanna do this, so I'm just gonna do it." And I really admire that because I mean, you don't really I feel like I'm sure you, like, think about it in your own head, but, like, on the outside, it just seems like you're such a confident person, like, within yourself, and also another thing is you're just really, really kind, and,
Oh!
like, I feel like you're so, like, empathetic. One of the things that I believe I struggle with is I don't really connect emotionally very well with other people,
Mhm.
um, but I just feel like you care so deeply about the ones you love. Like,
Oh.
this past week after my surgery, she and one of the other para coaches, Hannah, sent me a care package. And it just like lit up my whole week. Like just to know that you were thinking of me and that you took
Yeah.
the time and the money and the resources to send me a package, like it meant a whole lot. And so I feel like you do little things like that for other people all the time. And you're always checking in on others and you're always just there for your teammates, even if it like maybe isn't the like, most convenient thing for you.
Okay, I know you can't see, I have tears in my eyes. Oh my god. No, I mean, I wanted you to have a care package to know, like, we were thinking about you because
I mean,
I
I
just
already knew you were thinking about me because
I
you,
know,
like,
but
text me so often and it means so much.
I can't imagine how lonely that has to feel to, like, be going through that
Yeah.
diagnosis. Because like, I mean, you and I both know how lonely it is to, like, not really have
Mhm.
anyone to relate to. Like, we can relate to each other, but not on every
Yeah.
level. And so
Yeah,
I just, like yeah.
I mean, that was one of like, this isn't necessarily, like, a trait about either one of us, but I think
Mhm.
that what makes us, like, really drawn to each other is the, like, connection we have of having a visual impairment and just
Yeah.
understanding our day-to-day lives, like,
Mhm.
it just yeah, just the understanding of what we're going through
Yeah.
just really, I think, like, brings us together just because there was a long time for both of us where we were the only blind people we knew. We were
Mhm.
the only ones in school having to have these accommodations and having to advocate for ourselves. And
Yeah.
so just meeting someone else who had to do that and like it's like almost like I can just like forget that I was blind and that I had to
Mhm.
do all that like when I'm with you almost kind of thing.
Aw, that's so cute. Oh my god. Oh my god, okay. I I am a I would consider myself to be more of, like, an emotional person, and so in Germany, I knew you had surgery the next week, and I kept trying to ask you how you were doing mentally, and you would be like, "Oh, I'm good." And I'm like, "No, OC, how are you?" And you're like, "No, I'm fine." I was like, "No."
I know. I am that type of person. Yeah, Grace is the more, like, emotional side, and that has just never been me.
It's okay. No, and I'm not saying you need to be like that. I think we
No,
have a good
yeah,
balance. But like the
I
whole
think
week
it
I was like trying to read you. And then I called you Bobble and I was like, well, I mean,
No, that was funny. Oh, you did bleep it out.
bleep.
No, that was funny, that was funny.
No,
I
that
did
was
not
funny, and I'll call
know.
you Bobble again.
For those who don't know, in Germany, when I had to get reclassed, they had to dilate my eyes. And let me just tell you, just because I'm blind doesn't mean the dilation doesn't affect me. So, like, I can't see far away. Dilation makes it to where I can't see up close. And so I like can barely read my large print already. And so I'm like wearing my reading glasses, which, are thick. And Grace compares me to Bobble, which is that the character from Tinkerbell?
Yeah, like the little like
Yeah,
nerdy guy
yeah,
from
with the
Tinkerbell.
thick glasses, and I was just like, "You're one to talk? Like, have you seen what you're wearing on your face?" Like, I'm sorry.
Everyone around us too was like, Grace.
I just feel like couldn't find the words.
No. Everyone was like,
Yeah.
is she being mean? Like, should we report her for harassment? Like, are they
Uh,
just
no,
bickering?
it was
Like,
so
what's going
funny.
on? It was
It was
hilarious.
so funny. I was like, okay, pot, meet, kettle.
Pot, meat, kettle, fork found in kitchen.
Yeah.
And I mean, speaking of reclassification,
Oh, yes. That's
so
another update for the wow,
another
I have a
little
lot of
update.
updates.
You do have a lot of updates.
So, I had to get reclassed, obviously. My first classification was 4 years ago, and my
Mhm,
classification date was 2026, so 4 years. And with, like, my disease, like, when I first got classed, I had only been blind for, uh, 2 years?
mhm.
No. Wait, how many years?
When did you go blind? 21?
No, 19. Oh, it had been 3 years, 3 years,
Okay.
because I got classed October of 22. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so it had been only 3 years. Um And then my reclassification date was for 4 years later. So at this point, I'm almost 7 years into my, like, blindness, and no
Mhm,
one really knows what's going on. And I had known that I had gotten, like, lost more vision, and I've had some new, like, retinal stuff show up on my eye exams. It's kind of complicated. I'm not even gonna really try to explain it. Just some new changes with my eyes. But what they don't really I mean, I guess I could have read, like, the classification book, but I'm not gonna do that.
no.
So I didn't really know, like, the fine lines between, like, what makes you a 12, what makes you a 13, what makes you a 13, what makes you classed out. Like, I don't know the
Mhm,
hard line. And so when I first got classed, I didn't know if I was at the top end of a 13, the middle, the bottom end. And so going in, I knew I had these, like, changes. And so I had, like, prepared myself for the possibility of dropping, and I did dropped to an S12. So a little sad that I won't be part of the
oh my
S13s,
god.
but I mean, it really just doesn't do that much because 12s only have 3 events anyways, and they
Mhm,
swim up a lot. Like,
Yeah.
I think, like, 4 out of my 6 races in Paris, the 12s were with us.
Mhm.
So, it's not like it changes that much,
No, no. And for
in all
context,
honesty.
the
Yeah.
visual classifications as a reminder,
Oh,
it's
yes.
S11 through 13. 11 swim with blackout goggles and tend to have
Mhm.
their own events. 12 is like middle of the field and 13s are the most cited being able to swim para. So
Yes.
OC and I and Gia and Colleen were the quote unquote S13 dynasty. OC just got classed to a 12, and I'm over here
Yes.
like, not again, I was like, "Oh my gosh, like, she's a 12, like, is she okay?" Because like, getting classed down
Yeah.
could probably bring up a lot of emotions, especially, like, because it's a label of, "Hey, you're more disabled than you were," and no one wants to hear that. So I'm
Yeah,
like
it
yeah.
Oh, go for it.
Oh, I was just gonna say, again, I was just trying to see if you were okay, and the first thing you say to me was, "I'm not in the S13 dynasty anymore."
Well, I had no
No one's kicking you out, babes.
You're right, you're right, you're right. I'm so blind, like, it doesn't matter that much. I
No.
had known for a while that, like, I had known that my vision had gotten worse, obviously, because my eyes, I just know what I
Mhm,
can and can't see. And I had known that I had new so, like, a lot of times, like, classification, they're kind of it's like a weird thing, if I'm being
mhm,
honest, and, like, when you have a rare disorder, it's like, not all so my main, like, doctors I see are mitochondrial specialists, not necessarily ophthalmology like, I have my own ophthalmologist, obviously. Oops,
mhm.
should I turn I thought I turned my mic off, but,
No, you're good.
so, like, not but not op not every ophthalmologist specializes in mitochondrial disorders, and I'm
Mhm.
sure it's the same for, like, Grace, and for
Yeah.
people with more rare disorders, like, not every doctor is gonna know about brittle cornea syndrome. Not every doctor is gonna know about mitochondrial disorders, but the
Uh-huh,
world paraswimming doctors are supposed to have like a general idea of everything. So it's
mhm,
like you have to kind of go in there and like obviously do what you can on the exam. And they're very like, I know you could see this, like
and you're
try
like,
again.
"I
And you're like, I'm
can't."
sorry, I really can't. And like you just kind of have to be in there and explain your situation and know what's going on. And then like um they just kinda evaluate you, and it's just, like, this whole serious setting.
Uh-huh,
Um, so I like and the whole time they're doing it, they don't really let you know, like, where you're standing. They just kind
mhm,
of are doing the whole eye exam, and then they kind of just like, they were asking me, they were like, "Have you had vision changes since the last time you got classed?"
mhm,
And I was like, "Yes." And then they had you just kind of, like, explain that, and then they were like, they asked me, like, 3 times, they're like, "Were you expecting to drop down to a 12?" And
oh,
I was like, "Yeah, it was interesting." I found that question interesting because I was
that
like
is.
I just answered it, I was like, "Honestly, like, I knew I had vision changes. I didn't know, like, where I stood in terms of, like, in comparison to the different classes." And I
Mhm,
just, like, kept answering it like that. I was like, "Honestly, I don't know." And so I had gone in with, like I had prepared myself before.
mhm,
'Cause I was like, "Okay, there's a possibility with my vision changing that you could drop." Like, there's always a possibility of that.
yeah,
And while it was hard to be like to accept the fact that I had already become, like, more blind, but I had already known it. Like,
mhm,
you know what I mean? Like, I had
yeah,
already experienced it in my eyes, and whether or not I became a 13 or 12, like, it didn't change the fact that I had lost more vision.
yeah,
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
me becoming a 12 didn't change the fact that I lost this much vision from 2022 to 2026.
mhm,
Like, it just meant that, like, where I was visually was gonna be different no matter what. It
mhm.
just depended on their terms whether or not, like, it had changed, if that kinda makes sense, I
Yeah,
feel like.
yeah, no, it definitely does. It's like the label doesn't define what you're
Yeah,
experiencing. Like, I feel like it
yeah,
can probably bring out emotions because it's like, "Hey,
definitely.
it's real," but it's
Yeah,
like, again, you're not getting kicked out of the S13 dynasty.
yeah.
Like, the way that was your first thought is crazy
I
to
know.
me. You're crazy
Well,
to
'cause
me.
I was thinking, like so S12s only have 3 events It's
Mhm.
100 free, 100 back. Yeah,
100
100
breaths.
breaths.
Yeah.
And so obviously like that doesn't include my best event, like my best like for free 2 IM, some of my best events. But I knew that I would be able to like swim up and compete with the 13s. And like obviously I've been doing that. So it shouldn't like change that much in my opinion.
Nope.
And like we'll still be there in call rooms together. It's not like you did the 100 breaths anyways.
And it's not like you did the 100 back anyways.
No, so I mean, it's not like it
Nothing's
changes that much like with call rooms and things that we do like yeah. So it's it's at the end of the day not like that crazy of a change.
Mhm.
Because I think 12s and 13s are already so similar
Yeah.
anyways that it's like kind of like what are
Well,
we doing here?
I really don't understand classification because I got reclassed last year when the very first time I got classified in Paralympic swimming, they told me I was one of the most cited 13s. They're like,
Yeah.
you qualify for para, but you are at the top end of the 13s. And I was like, okay, I don't really know what that means.
Yeah.
I'm
Just
gonna
like,
do my
okay,
thing.
thanks.
And then last year I got classed and they're like, has your vision changed? And I was like, not that I've noticed. And they're like,
Mhm.
oh, well, now you're at the bottom of the 13s.
See,
You're borderline at 12. But if you see, I
yeah,
get classed with my glasses on,
I
even though
was
I
gonna say
don't
that.
swim with my glasses on.
I'm I'm wondering if the second go round they took into consideration that your goggles can't right, your goggles aren't your prescription. They're much,
No.
much less.
Hmm.
I'm wondering if the first time they didn't take that into consideration and then the second time they did.
I don't know
Like,
because
does that make sense? Like,
I don't
they're
because
weird. It's hard.
it's and honestly, the lighting the second time I got
Yeah.
classified was
Oh,
so dark. So the
okay,
lighting
that
could have
could be it
changed
too.
where I stood in the range. And then
Yeah.
also I was like, well, I told them, I was like, well, I don't swim with my glasses on. Like when I'm
Yeah.
swimming, I have so much worse vision. And they're like, that doesn't matter. Like you wear your glasses most of the time, so that's what we're gonna class you as. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I'm
See,
legally blind with my glasses on. It's not just with my glasses off. And then I was
yeah.
like, well, what class would I be if I didn't have my glasses on? And they were like, oh, an 11.
And you're like, "What?"
What?
Like, it
Um,
doesn't make any sense, like,
I
I could
don't
not swim with
understand.
blackout goggles.
I can't swim with blackout goggles. I'm like, don't class me as an 11. I'll swim up for every event.
Yeah,
Don't do it.
like,
But also they wouldn't because it's so
you've
confusing.
got it's really yeah, it's complicated and, um, I mean, the physical side, who even knows
Oof,
what goes into all that? Like,
I don't know. I
you think
couldn't speak
division's
on that.
complicated? Well, because
Yeah.
what's crazy in Berlin, like, obviously, I'm not, at these classifications, you're not the only one getting classed, obviously, so there's, like, a
Mhm.
whole bunch of people from a bunch of different countries, and they made more people ineligible for para than they, like, actually classed people, which I found interesting for
Mhm.
Berlin. So, like, they made more people who were already classified as, like, S13s, they made them ineligible, so unable they said they weren't blind enough to compete, than they actually, like, classed people. So, I was like, "That's crazy."
In Berlin, I was told a story about this female athlete who was visually impaired and in a wheelchair, and she got completely classed out of para swimming.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. It's crazy, like, we can't get into the nitty-gritty of
No,
classification because
I don't
that's a whole
understand.
I don't yeah, that's a whole, like, can of
Ugh.
worms that
Oh my gosh.
I don't
Well,
wanna get into.
let's speed run some questions. You ask them this
Yes.
time.
Okay, most surprising thing since starting the podcast?
Ooh, I think most surprising thing was that and I feel like people say this a lot, but to me the hardest part was starting.
I was gonna say that, I was
No,
gonna
you
say
were
it's not
not.
as hard I was gonna say it's not as hard as I thought it would be.
Like it's challenging and we failed and we're going to keep
Yes.
failing multiple times and we're learning a lot. We even today had like a 2-hour meeting about the future direction of this podcast and our brand, but it's like the hardest part about all of this was the what ifs around starting. Like it took us so
Yeah.
long to actually get this published and now that the ball is rolling, like the momentum hasn't stopped.
Like, yeah, we're just in a routine. Like, yeah, mine's similar. I would say it's not as hard as I thought it was gonna be. Like,
Mhm.
we're in a routine. We each have our own little tasks we do them, and then, it's life keeps going.
And I also think I'm pretty like pleasantly surprised about how I feel like this podcast is tying together all of these aspects of my life that I'm interested in. Like, I'm over here in
Mhm.
school learning about social policy and technology and how social media gets into that with like stress and human development. And then I'm on the podcast talking about disability narratives. And then I'm a Paralympic swimmer. And I've been able to tie all of those together. And I feel like this podcast has really become the bow for me that
Yeah.
like brings, and it's like, oh my gosh, all my passions make sense now and they're in a line. And now I know like the direction I want to take my life in. So as like big as that sounds, like this, I have been so surprised at what this podcast has done for me. And we've only been doing this for like what, like 4 months?
Yeah, 4 months, I think.
This is episode 18. Like, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Um, oh wait, I already answered that. Biggest goal.
Biggest goal?
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I already told you this today, but I think we can make this like a full-time job.
Yeah. Yeah. My biggest goal? I mean, I don't really know. Like, honestly, yeah, same thing as Grace, like doing this, making this something bigger. Um, and
Yeah.
then obviously just to continue swimming fast. I don't know. Yeah.
Great.
Um, what's your most memorable Paris story or like moment that stuck out to you?
Ooh. I
I
think
have one. Oh,
oh, you go then. I'm
okay.
thinking.
I was just gonna say like the first time that like I felt like I was like an elite athlete, it was probably when um there have been two kids that have called me their hero. And I think that
Oh.
for me, it's so cute. I think that for me was something that was really like special to me because it was like, okay, I am doing this for more than just me. You
Mhm.
know? Like I am while it might be small, I am making a change, and it's the change I wanna see in the world. Like, there's this little boy, he, is fighting leukemia from my hometown, and, he would go into every treatment saying, "If Olivia can do hard things, I can too." And, like,
Stop
in that
it.
moment yes, I know, and in that moment, I'm like, what he's going through is so much harder than whatever anything I feel like I've ever had to go through.
Mhm.
But, like, the fact that, like, just me being me and doing what I love can help someone else get through their hard things, especially like I think a little boy going through cancer is like crazy to me. And I sent him one of my national medals and like he locks it away every night and is safe and just kind of
Stop.
little things like that. And just recognizing that I can make a change in small ways was
Mhm.
really cool for me. And it's really fun to see um, just kind of the cool things we're doing play out and when other people recognize you and love what you're doing for and not because you're like we've said an inspiration, which we like I could say it's inspiring, but it's
Mhm.
more than that. It's you just being like you and you
Mhm.
just what you are doing is cool, not because you're disabled, but because just what it is cool. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I love the idea of, like, the butterfly effect. Like, a butterfly flaps its
Yeah.
wings and there's an earthquake or whatever, and I probably butchered that so bad, but you know what I'm getting at, like, you just
Yeah.
being you and, like, showing up every day like you know how, like, is changing that boy's life, and you like, it's not like you did anything special.
Yeah, no.
That's so sweet, and that
I know.
is such a genuine, like, answer to this question too, because I'm sitting here thinking about my favorite memory, and I've had, like, a couple interactions that have really stuck with me, and I mean, like, kind of along the lines you which this isn't even like a Paralympic memory, but
Yeah.
when I first had that aha moment of, "Oh my gosh, I wanna be in this space of advocacy," and, like,
Mhm.
showing people that, like, life is okay, like, life might be harder, but it's not worse, and I think that was
Yeah.
when I was volunteering for this, like, vision impaired preschool,
Mhm.
organization, and this mom just came up to me and started sobbing because I stood there and I was like, "Yeah, like, I'm an honor student, I swim in high school, like, I hope to swim in college," and her child was low vision and blind, and she's like, "Oh my gosh,
Mhm.
so they're gonna have a real life," and I was like, "Yes,
Yeah.
girl, what?" And I didn't do
Like,
anything special. So, along the same
no.
lines, and I think that's, like, you and I now having this podcast and, like, trying to build a platform and not just to be like, "Hey, look at us," but to be like, "Hey." you're okay. And also,
Yeah,
everyone else needs to understand that people's identities are so complex and there needs to be spaces to like feel your feelings and understand like why you feel the way you do. Like
yeah,
why are people with disabilities more prone to anxiety and depression? Oh, maybe
mhm,
because discrimination and adversity is genuinely a global health crisis and changing people's stress biology.
yeah,
Genuinely. So it's like
yeah,
it makes sense. So I just love being in this space and learning more about it. And I think my favorite moments are just when things click or when you meet people that are
mhm,
like and you have these great conversations and it's like, oh my gosh, like this makes more sense. And then it's like the knot keeps unraveling and unraveling, and all of a sudden you have this clear path of like, oh,
mhm.
that's that's it. And like I hope that makes sense. But
No, it makes sense. I'm understanding. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
oh, you're picking up what I'm putting down. The little like unraveled knot. Okay, you got
Yes,
it. You got
I
the other
got it.
end of it. I don't want it to drag in the street.
I'm pulling.
Okay, you're pulling. Okay,
Yep.
great.
Okay, this is more of like a clarification question.
Mm.
So the difference between Special Olympics and Paralympics.
Ooh, Special Olympics are more intellectual disabilities like Down syndrome, and then the Paralympics, while we do have a category for intellectual disabilities, those typically tend to be more high functioning individuals, and then we focus more, or I guess we also focus on physical and visual impairments. Deaf as a disability or being hearing impaired is not in the Paralympics, but there is a Deaf Olympics, which is a completely
Hmm.
separate entity. So the Paralympics is parallel to the Olympics, running alongside it. But yeah, the Special Olympics is definitely catered more towards the athletes that are not as independent or
Hmm.
need more assistance because of a intellectual impairment.
And I believe the Paralympics is more like competitive sports, where Special Olympics is just a platform and a space for people with intellectual disabilities to do sports. So like
Mhm.
the Paralympics, it's highly competitive. Um,
Yes.
like you have to make these teams, you have to go these
And
times,
it's hard.
uh, and it's actually really
Extremely.
difficult. It's
Yeah.
the same as making the Olympic team. Essentially, it's with a
Mhm.
little bit different variables in play and equations, but I mean, it is elite sport. You do have to make the team. Not everyone makes a team. I think that's a common misconception is that every disabled person who's in a sport is going to make the Paralympics. No,
That's not the
not
case.
not every able-bodied athlete is going to make the Olympics. So not every disabled athlete is going to make the Paralympics. And while that is hard to hear, I mean, you're not going to have competitive sport if everyone makes it.
No, and I think also too, like, something people don't realize is it's not like we're taking 2 people from every classification. Like, we are
Hmm.
all like, I'm competing you and I are competing against amputees. We're competing against
Yep.
people with intellectual impairments. Like, we have, like, S2, S3s that are beating us
Yeah.
in the 50 free,
Right.
and that's fair.
It
They
is
deserve that.
because we have so there was a question about this, about how it was like just someone confused on didn't know that they didn't just take the top two swimmers per event because in able-bodied swimming, the pretty much it boils down to the top two swimmers in each event go make the Olympic team and they swim that event at the Olympics. But
Mhm.
for para, it's more of an equation. So when it comes to making a team, basically in simple terms, is right at the meets when the meet starts, we pause the world rankings. You will take the third place time in each event and compare it to what each swimmer went in their classification for that event. So if we're doing the S13, like 50 free, let's
Mhm.
say. Let's say at the start of the meet, we pause the world rankings and third in the world is 28 flat, 28.0. If you, and then if Grace went 27.5, you would like divide those numbers out and she would be given a percentage.
Mhm.
And you want your percentage to be as far as low as possible because that means you are closer to the like world leading time. So basically the whole equation is used to see who's most likely to medal at games.
Mhm.
And then what they do is they look at all the times under 102%. from trials. This is all from one meet, not throughout the year. It's all from Paralympic trials. Then they look at all the times swam, and basically, I'm pretty sure they just formed the team by we're given a certain number of slots. So for Paris, it was 21 women, 12 men,
I think you're
I
right.
think.
Mhm,
21 women. So they will literally go through all the women and be like, okay, she was first, she had the lowest percentage, so she's on the team first. And they just
mhm,
fill the team like that until they get to either the 21st spot or the last person that has a qualifying time. So you also
mhm.
have to go the qualifying time. It's like World Para Swimming puts out these times to qualify for the Paralympics, and if you do not go that time, you cannot enter the meet.
And let me tell you, it's a
So,
dogfight.
like, yeah, and it's hard because you don't really know where you stand unless
Mm-mm.
you sit there and do the math for every single swim.
Yeah.
And I'm not doing that, but
No, I'm not doing that. No, thank you.
so that's kind of how that works. I hope that's how that works for choosing teams.
Mhm.
It's different for multi-class swimming events, which we posted a reel on that on our
Yeah.
Instagram, which is a whole nother
There's too much
it can
math.
be
We've talked
explained.
about too much math.
So we're gonna move on. But that's kind of how we choose our teams, if that makes
Mhm.
sense. At least ish.
Yeah. This next question says, I don't know this for a fact, but it seems like Para-Olympians, which it's Paralympian, not Paralympians, um, Paralympians have more to overcome than athletes competing in the Olympics, which that's a hard one because it's
It
like
is a hard one.
you and I are overcoming blindness, but then we
Yep.
also have A, B, and C going on in our personal lives. But Olympic athletes might have A, B, C, D, E, F going on in their personal lives, or
Yeah.
maybe they have an iron deficiency, which not to compare iron to blindness, but like,
No, but also like we have to overcome blindness to swim, but everyone else we're swimming against is blind.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So that doesn't take out the fact that we're blind, but it like levels the playing field.
Mhm.
And so that's a hard question because like yeah, like you said, everyone's life is different. We all have hard things. Every single
Right.
person is going to face some kind of adversity in their life,
Mhm.
whether that's being blind or, you know, um losing a family member or,
Right.
it
Right.
all is so circumstantial and like while most day-to-day things, yes, we probably have to overcome more.
Mhm.
I think that it's just that's an interesting question.
It is.
I don't necessarily feel that way
No.
because I try not to let my disability limit me.
Mhm.
If that makes sense, like I'm aware of like I'm not going to be able to drive. Like obviously that's an obvious fact. That's unsafe. We
Mhm.
have to draw a line somewhere, but I love to drive, yes. But like I don't know. If I just sit there and wallow in my sorrows of losing my sight, like
Mhm.
I'm not going to get anywhere. So I feel like
No.
you kind of have to put your visual impairment, like, kind of just have to not care. You
And
know,
like
you're like,
you and
this
I
is
could
the
sit
part I can
here.
help.
We can
You
sit
know,
here and be like, yes, it's harder for us to compete in the NCAA, 100%.
yeah, it's
And
true.
and I mean, is it harder for us to compete in the Paralympics? Maybe in the sense that we've grown up with like just more instilled challenges, but
Hmm.
again, like you said, so is our competitors. And I mean, you can sit here and even say, well, it's easier to go to the Paralympics because there's not as many competitors.
Yeah. So I mean,
Okay,
like,
but then all your competitors are also disabled, so there's that factor of how hard it is to go through that self like regulatory process of
hmm
accepting who you are as a disabled individual in our society. That is so hard. So
yeah.
hard. So it's like the
But there
ups and
are
downs
other,
emotionally, but then it's like everyone has to deal with that to get to the Paralympic level, even if there
yeah.
are less competitors.
But then again, like, we had to figure out our place, figuring out how to live as a disabled person in society. But there are so many other minority groups
Mhm.
where you have to figure out how to live in society as those
Yeah.
too. So
Mhm.
it's all very like, yeah, I wouldn't
Very like
necessarily say that it's like, I don't like
these are very
that-
empirical questions that
it
won't
is.
have
It's
answers.
interesting. No,
It is
it's just,
interesting
I
to
think
think
it's
about.
from person to person,
'Cause,
honestly.
I mean,
Like,
you said other minorities, and we can sit here and be like, "Oh, well, it's harder for queer individuals to make the Olympics,"
like,
but that doesn't affect how they compete in the water necessarily.
yeah. And,
I
like,
don't know.
our visual impairment affects how we compete in the water, but then again, we're competing against other visually impaired people, so technically
That's
that
fair.
factor is, like, taken out almost.
It's such an interesting question.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all can speak on that one.
You can think up for yourself.
I don't even know where to go. I think I'm just confusing myself in my brain.
I don't know, but honestly, we're already at a long episode, and I feel like we've chatted about a lot.
Oh, yeah, I didn't
Um,
even notice what time it was. Yeah.
I
We had a
feel
lot of
like
questions, actually.
I know. Oh, I
Um,
love this one. So how does she know she's swimming straight if she can't see the lane line?
I mean, we don't really.
No,
You hit it every now and then.
you hit the wall.
I'm able to see the black line on the bottom of the pool. Now, do I know how far away that is? No.
No. The depth
It's
perception is
there
what gets you.
and it shapes because I have nystagmus, so it might not even be in the actual part, but I think it's come from years of practice.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah, for
I, you swim up and down that black line hours a day, multiple days a week.
mhm.
Get it down.
Yeah, for me, I just have enough contrast between the black and typically the lighter color of the pool, so I'm able to
Mhm.
see it. But again, depth perception, no idea
Yeah.
how far down it is. But I think that's gonna be a wrap on our
Yeah.
episode, our Q&A. Let's get real. Let's be honest.
A lot of good conversations.
Yeah, there's been a
Yeah.
lot going on, and I mean, I think we hope to keep sharing our
Yeah.
lives with you guys. Not in like
Yeah.
a
No,
uh
just like kind of just like as this is what we like to do. We like to talk. And now
we
we're
like
just
to
putting it
talk.
out on the in
We
the
like to
world.
talk, but also I think our conversations have a lot of depth in terms of
Mhm.
these the nuances and what we're talking about are
Yeah.
useful when it comes to understanding how people with disabilities navigate the world, which is what we're all about. So,
Yeah.
with that being said, we thank you guys so much for watching and tuning in, and we will see you guys next week.
Don't forget, check out our merch on our
Oh yes.
Etsy store. We put a link tree in our bio. So all you gotta do is click on
Yes.
that once and you can go to our YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Etsy store, all from that link.
Shout out our
So
manager for making that
yes.
link tree.
Yes. It's
Oh my
so
gosh.
simple, easy to use. Go check it out. And also the summer months are coming. The heat is coming. If you need some electrolytes, use code POD20 from Into. Stay hydrated.
I'm so proud of you. You're like this little like business baddie. You're like, wait, let me just promote everything we've been working on at the end of this
Yes.
episode. You're like summer months. Don't die of dehydration. Have an electrolyte.
Yeah, just a little ad I came
It's
up with.
perfect.
A
Oh my
little
god,
jingle,
a little jingle. Get
if
out
you
of
will.
here. Okay, guys, we will
All
see
right.
you next week.
Yes. Bye-bye.
Bye.